Hey, what's good, family? Big salute, big salute. Giving all praise to the Most High Yah and faith in Yahshua HaMashiach. To my Israelite family worldwide, I say peace and blessings. I titled this family, Why Do So Many Call Paul False? Why do so many of our people call Paul false? And I'm asking this question because a lot of our people don't believe in the brother Paul. They believe that he was a person who crept in and bought a lot of false doctrines and was making up a lot of his own doctrines. But when I read the scriptures, I don't see where he was teaching his own doctrine. I see that he was called. I see that he met Yahshua HaMashiach on the road to Damascus. I see that he was persecuted. I see he kept the Sabbath. I also see that he went to Jerusalem to keep the feast. I also see in the scriptures that even the evil spirits recognize Paul as somebody who was used by the Most High Yah and Yahshua HaMashiach. Satan can't fight against himself. So if Paul was a man that was evil, the evil spirit recognized Paul as being somebody who the Lord was using. So how can Satan fight against himself? I'm just gonna go through a couple scriptures. It ain't gonna be long at all, and I'm gonna just show you that the apostle Paul was chosen. And then some people say, well, he wasn't an apostle. The things that we get caught up on. See, that's why I say, boy, when you get to a level of knowledge and wisdom and understanding, small things don't matter to you no more. When you get to a certain level of understanding, small things don't matter to you no more. What name somebody using? Was he an apostle or not? That's small stuff. If somebody say Jesus, they're not gonna go to hell for that. Somebody say Yahweh and don't say Yahshua, they not going to hell for that. Some of y'all only believe in a partial of the book, right? Because you say Apostle Paul was a liar. So that means that you are an Israelite who believe, but you don't believe in all of God's word. But you believe though. So you just believe in the Old Testament and then you stop at Malachi. Matthew to Revelations, you can't get down with, but you're a believer though. I want to know if anybody can tell me, what was Pastor Paul teaching false? No opinions, no interpretation. Show me the scriptures where Apostle Paul was teaching false. I mean, everywhere I go, whether it's Facebook, different social media platforms, everybody is kicking against Paul. And one thing that always make me chuckle in the inside is that y'all be so serious. Y'all be so serious when you trying to prove that he false, but can't show me where he false at. What are the scriptures, man? Let me get the scriptures. If anybody out there could come show me. The reason why I'm asking this question, because a lot of y'all are being deceived. A lot of y'all are being deceived. And your brother K. Judah don't want you to be deceived. The Lord don't want you to be deceived. The Lord keep telling y'all gonna know the teacher by the fruit that we bear. So if I'm sitting up here telling you I want to believe in the Old Testament and not the New, you shouldn't listen to me. If I come telling you that Paul is a false teacher, you don't supposed to be listening to me. Because I can't just tell you something wrong with this Bible and not show you what's wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with the scriptures. The only thing that I can say what people getting caught up on, okay, is written in English. It's translated from the Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. Okay? is translated into English because we speak another tongue. So the Lord, in his infinite wisdom, had the Bible translated to wherever you scattered at. So you read the Bible in the language in which you scattered at in that land. That's the wisdom right there. So a lot of people say, man, the Gentiles put the New Testament in the Bible. So now you're going to get the Gentiles all that wisdom, all that knowledge from Matthew to Revelation. You're going to give the Gentile the credit for on the account of all the disciples, all the apostles, wrote down the things that they witnessed, meaning the disciples who walk with Christ. Paul never walked with Christ, but he met him on the road to Damascus. And you have people saying Paul never met Christ. Well, who was that talking to Paul when he say Paul? Paul. This is Yahshua. Well, we know he said Jesus, but it's Yahshua. Some say Yahweh Shah. I don't get caught up on the name, man. People who get caught up on small things and argue and fight and bicker, you still on the milk. You on the milk, man. A lot of us didn't move past the milk, man. You got to get some of that meat. When y'all gonna get up on the meat? Because once you get up on the meat, you're gonna stop all the arguing and the fight. Now you can go all throughout YouTube and you're gonna see many videos, many breakdowns on how Paul is a false teacher, but he's not. He's not. Where are the scriptures, man, that the man is false? Where are the scriptures that he was never called? Where are the scriptures that he was an apostle? Where are the scriptures? Because Paul tell me he's from the tribe of Benjamin. And we know that only the oracles was given to Israel. So why is Paul teaching if he's not an Israelite? He was a Roman, K. Judah. Man, the man say he was a Roman citizen, man. You are an American citizen. Or not really, though, but documented on paper, they classify you as an American citizen, but you're not really a citizen here. You come from Zion, not America. But on paper, they classify you as an American. That's all Paul was a Roman citizen. But by blood, he was from the tribe of Benjamin. That's how come I always tell people, I do not fight against people. I go against false doctrine. What I'm going to sit up here and argue back and forth with a person for when all I have to do is edify the people with what the truth is. And you lay it on the table and you let the chips fall where they may. If they have ears to hear, they going to hear. If not, they going to go about their way. That's how I look at it, family. I'm not finna be sitting up here on no platform arguing with no other Israelite, whether Paul was real or not. I'm just going to go on the scriptures and show you that the man was called by the Lord, that he was persecuted for the Lord's sake, that he also kept the feasts. He also kept the Sabbath day. He was from the tribe of Benjamin. These are all documentation that is written in the Bible, that Paul was the real deal. Paul was the real deal, family. Now, don't get me wrong. Paul did a lot of things against his own people. So what did the Lord tell Paul? He gonna suffer many things for Christ's name's sake. Because there's still a debt that he had to pay, family. There's still a debt and Paul knew that. And that's why I think Paul wanted to stay focused on the mission, that he may receive his crown for all the things he was doing contrary to the Lord's word. Paul didn't have no woman. Now, I'm not saying he didn't have no woman before, or whatever that situation was. But I'm telling you, once he got converted, man, Paul was about the Lord's business. Paul wasn't about mingling with no women. That man stayed focused. You know why? Because he did a lot of damage to the Lord's work. And I always noticed that. The people who do more against the Lord always give more. The people who are forgiven much give much. And the people who are forgiven little, they give little. So because Paul was forgiven much, he gave much. And those who are forgiven little, they only gonna give a little. That's why some people go hard in the paint for the Lord and some people just lazy. All they care about is their nationality, knowing they Israel. That's it. Wearing fringes, putting garments on, and going to feast days. But when it comes to swinging his sword, they have no full understanding of the Bible. And this is why I always give advice, telling people, master the scriptures first. History is easy to be understood. Master the scriptures first. History is easy to be understood, family. I wanted to master the Bible first, not history. I want to be able to swing the sword. And then once I grab history, at least I already know how to swing the sword. So I'm going to be putting the pieces together easily. So a lot of people got me on the history because I am not a historian, but I am a sword swinger. I understand the scriptures. I understand the plan of Yah. I understand the purpose of Yahshua. I understand what need to be taught for Israel to wake up. And that's this whole Bible, not part of this Bible. If it's written in this Bible, it needs to be taught. I don't care if it's a dot, a tittle, one line, the smallest thing, it needs to be taught. It's in the Bible, so it needs to be taught. If it's in the scriptures, the Lord want me to teach it, and he want us to know. If he didn't want us to know, it wouldn't be in the Bible. So let's handle this right quick. I'm not going to be long. I'm just going to prove to you that Paul was not false, man. Even though a lot of people is going on the tangent, making all type of videos against the Apostle Paul, he was called by Yahshua, man. And we finna deal with it right now. Let's go to Acts. And I'm doing this freestyle, so y'all bear with me. I'm going to Acts chapter 9. I think it's 9. Sometimes I do that, family. Like, I won't write nothing down. That's another way to keep yourself sharp. So when you out and about and you have nothing on you but your phone, or always keep your Bible on you. You might not have your scriptures written down in order, but if you sometimes you just freestyle, it'll sharpen your mind, family. Oh yeah, it'll sharpen your mind. Let's go to Acts chapter 9. Yep, it was Acts chapter 9. I'm going to go to Acts chapter 9, family, and I'm going to start at verse 1. And everything written in red, we know is Yahshua talking. Everything written in red, we know is Yahshua talking. If it does not say, thus said the Lord, it is not the word of the Most High. Let me get this advice. A lot of people say a lot of things, family. That's what y'all got to understand, man. A lot of people going to say a lot of things, and I put that on my last dollar. It ain't something they read for themselves. It's something they heard somebody else say, family. That's how come it's hard for me to listen to somebody who have not done what I've done. I went on the quest and dissected this Bible line by line, precept by precept, from Genesis all the way to Revelation for 10 years. So anybody coming over here telling me, well, if it don't say this and that, man, I'm not trying to hear you. Because all I got to do is say, prove it. If it don't say, thus said the Lord. We know everything in this Bible say, thus said the Lord. But once Yahshua came on the scene and on the earth and was about his Father's business, and he was sent down from heaven, the Father had already gave him everything that he needed to say and do. So in the New Testament, Christ didn't need to say, "Thus said the Lord." Everything was already written from the Old Testament, and the testimony from the Old Testament was testified in the New. Everything that Christ said came from the Old Testament. As it is written. As it is, he didn't say "thus said it," he said, "As it is written." Because who gave the record and testimony of Yahshua to him? The Father. The testimony of his Son was given by the Father of the Most High to his Son as a testimony to testify of his Son. That's why it say, "As it is written." As it is written. As the prophet said. But where did the prophet get it from? Yahshua, who got it from his Father. Because who's talking through the prophet? Yahshua. Stop listening to these people, Israel. They're going to confuse you. But y'all, brother, I'm not here to confuse you. I'm here to keep everything simplistic. I'm not trying to get deep on you. Just simplistic. Let's go to Romans chapter 9. And let's see if this is going to say, "Thus said the Lord," even though it's written in red. But we know this Yahshua talking to Paul. Wisdom must apply. I told you, I don't listen to people. I'm just being real. I don't watch their videos. I don't listen to people. If you ain't done what I done, I most certainly ain't going to listen to you. This is Romans chapter 9, and I'm going to pick it up at verse 1, and it reads, "And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest and desired of him letters to Damascus and to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem." So you see what Paul was doing? Paul was fighting against the church. Paul was fighting against his own brothers and sisters. Verse 3. "And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven, and he fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Thus said the Lord. And found a voice saying unto him," hey, Paul, "thus said the Lord. And he fell to the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me?" This Yahshua talking to Paul, family. You remember, the last book is John before it get to Acts. Yahshua was taken up in Acts chapter 1, right? So this is nothing for him to talk to Paul. He was just taken up. Now he's in his full glory. Now he's in his full power. Because he went back to being what he was before. The glory that he had with the Father from the beginning. Verse 4. "And he fell to the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus." But we know it's not Jesus. But I'm not going to get caught up on the name. If somebody want to say Jesus, hey, say Jesus. You want to say Yahushua, say Yahushua. I say Yahshua. Stop getting caught up on small things and deal with understanding. "I am Yahshua, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks." Paul, you can't stop this truth. You can't stop my program, Paul. It's hard to kick against the prick. Paul, it's hard to fight against what I got going on. Because my word ain't gonna never come back void, Paul. So it's hard for you to kick against these pricks. Verse 6. "And he trembling and astounded said, Lord, what would thou have me to do?" But I thought Paul wasn't called. "Lord, what will you have me to do?" But I thought he wasn't called though. "What would thou have me to do?" And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into a city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. Now jump down to verse 9, and I'm going to get to the point. Verse 9. "And he arose 3 days without sight, and neither did eat nor drink. And there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias. And to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise, and go into the streets, which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayed, and I've seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in and putting his hand on him that he might receive his sight. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he have done to thy saints at Jerusalem. So do you see that Paul did evil against his own people? Verse 14, and here he have authority from the chief priest to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, go thy way, for he's a chosen vessel. But you got Israelites saying he was never called. He's a chosen vessel. But you have Israelites saying this man was never called. But who you gonna believe, the scriptures or man? Stop listening to man. Follow the word of the Lord. You either a believer or you not. You either chosen or you just called. I would rather be chosen. I don't want to just be called. Those who are called, you are wavering like the waves in the ocean, man. You toss to and fro. Don't you know most people that's just called, you know they just called because they tell everybody else, Yeshua's not real. The New Testament is fake. We don't have to do this. We don't have to do that. This don't apply no more. That don't apply no more. Those are people that are just called. Stop listening to those who are just called and find chosen teachers who gonna teach this whole Bible and edify you in a simplistic form so you can get salvation. Everybody don't have your best interest. Most people teach because you're paying them. Most people teach because you're giving them super chats. You will know your teacher by the fruit that they bear. The chosen don't want nothing from you. Just your ear for you to listen and get understanding and learn how to deliver yourself from this hellhole, wherever you scattered at. Those are the chosen. They don't do it for filthy lucre's sake. They're not trying to get a big name. They don't care about none of that. All they care about is edifying. That's the chosen, not those who are just called. Know the difference. Verse 15, but the Lord said unto him, go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles, and kings, and the children of Israel. Here go another discrepancy that people are saying in the Bible. They are saying that the Gentiles in the New Testament are the Gentiles who was under Gentile names. But right here, he said, and the children of Israel. Now, Peter and them wasn't called the children of Israel. After the split, you had the southern kingdom, which was called Jews, and you had the northern kingdom, which was called the children of Israel. So why would the Bible make a distinction and say the Gentiles, and kings, and the children of it? He say, and the children of Israel. So how can the children of Israel be Gentiles if the Lord just made a distinction with the comma? Gentiles, and kings, punctuation, and the children of Israel. Three separate groups: Gentiles, kings, and the children of Israel. So the children of Israel are separate from Gentiles. But y'all keep telling people that the Gentiles are the children of Israel in the New Testament. You have been woefully misinformed. Why are you saying that, K. Judah? Because you remember in Deuteronomy, I'm going to provoke you with a foolish nation because you keep provoking me with your idols. Who was that foolish nation that he provoked us with? The Gentiles. Not your own brother. Why would the Lord provoke you with your own brother and that's your brother? What can you get out of that being provoked by your own brother? He already gonna be saved. He already gonna be brought back into the fold. So your own brother cannot provoke you. That's your brother. That's your sister. They already gonna be brought back in. They are the natural branch. Y'all, please use wisdom, y'all. Please use wisdom, y'all, and get understanding. With all your getting, get understanding, family. Verse 16, for I will show him great things he must suffer for my name's sake. Why did Paul have to suffer for the Lord's name's sake? Because Paul did a lot of damage to the church. And that's why Paul went the hardest for the Lord, because he know he did a lot of damage to the church. And he was trying to make that right by going hard in the paint for the Lord, because those who are forgiven much are going to give much, and those who are forgiven little are going to give little. That is knowledge. Now let's prove something else that Paul did, because a lot of people say he's false. So let's prove according to the scriptures that he did everything that an Israelite would do. What you talking, K. Judah? Let's go see. Let's go see. Okay. I'm going to Acts 27. And let me show you something that he did. Now, we know that he was called. Okay, we just read that. And everything written in red, the Lord met him on the road to Damascus. He heard a voice. The Lord told him, I am Jesus. But, hey, I don't call him Jesus. I call him Yahshua. But the world know him as Jesus. So, no, let me not, hold on. Let's get that right. The world don't know him as Jesus. The world know Saviour boy Jair as Jesus. So let's get that right off the muscle. When we think of Jesus, nobody think of a black man. They think of Saviour boy Jair, not Yahshua. Let's go to Acts. Let me show you something else Paul did. If he was false, why is he doing all of this right here? Acts 27. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 1. 1 through 9. 1 through 9, family. And it reads, and when it was determined that we should sail into Italy, they delivered Paul and certain others prisoners unto one named Julius, a centurion of Augusta band, and entering in a ship of a Dramathenium, we lunched, meaning to sail by the coast of Asia. One Aristarchus, a Macedonian, a Thessalonica, being with us. And the next day we touched at Sidon, and Julius courteously entreated Paul and gave him liberty to go unto his friends to refresh himself. And when we had lunch from thence, we sailed unto Cyprus, because the wind was contrary. And when we had sailed over the sea of Sicilia and Pamphylia, we came to Myra, a city of Lycia. And there the centurion found a ship of Alexandria, setting into Italy, and he put us therein. And when we had sailed slowly many days, and scarce was come over against Sidius, the wind not suffering us, we sailed unto Crete, over against Salmona, and hardly passing it, came unto a place which is called the Fair Havens, now whereunto was the city of Lacia. Now when much time was spent, and when sailing was now dangerous, because the fast was now already past. Because the fast was now already past. Paul admonished them. Why did Paul keep the fast? Why did Paul keep the fast? I'm asking why. What was Paul doing keeping the fast? I wonder what fast he was keeping. Because I know we got the Day of Atonement. That's a fast. We know that Peter and them also kept Pentecost. But I thought they was lost. What is Paul doing keeping the fast, y'all? I thought he was not called and not chosen and false, and he showed doing everything according to scripture. What else did he do? Let's go to Acts 17 and 2. Acts 17 and 2. I think he kept the Sabbath day. I said, I think, just to be a little sarcastic. Acts 17 and 2. Acts 17 and verse 2, and it reads, and Paul, as his manner was. Hold up, Paul, what you mean as your manner was? That means you did this often. Paul, what you mean as your manner was? That means you did this often. Let me read verse 2 again. And Paul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Sabbath days reasoned with them out of the scriptures. Why did you go 3 Sabbath days? That means you went in there on the Sabbath day, because we know we have a Sabbath, uninterrupted weekly Sabbath. But the Bible say 3 Sabbath days. So that means you kept going back when the Sabbath came around, reasoning with them. What you doing keeping this, Paul? You not no Israelite. You crept in unawares. You false. You is a Roman, but you doing everything like an Israelite. You keep the fast. You kept the fast, right? You also went back to Jerusalem to keep the feast. You keeping a Sabbath day. You reasoning with the people and teaching. But I thought this man wasn't no Israelite. That's what I heard. What y'all heard? I heard this man wasn't no Israelite. The New Testament is the slave Bible, what the white man gave us to keep us in darkness. You lost. Yeah, you lost. I don't even argue with people like you. So if the New Testament is a slave Bible, why are you up in here? You're in the wrong live stream. We believe in the whole Bible. We believe in Yahshua. We believe in the law to the testimony. The testimony means to testify. That's what the New Testament is testifying of things written in the Old. So you're in the wrong place. You might as well exit the building. I have no time for people like you at all. Yeah, so I'm going to keep going. You're in the wrong place. There's an exit door right there. Find your way out. Oh, yeah, I don't got no time to waste my time with people like you. Because, see, it's people like you going to deceive people. Because I guarantee you're telling other people that the New Testament is false. And if they don't have the right type of understanding, they may be a babe in the truth listening to somebody like you. Not only is they going to be deceived, then now they going to go tell somebody what you told them. That's why the Bible say a little leaven leaven the whole lump. You are a liar. And all you're going to do is spread that lie to somebody else that's going to leaven the whole lump. And now it's going to spread through Israel. And now we got a whole movement that Christ is fake. The New Testament is fake. This is fake. We don't have to do this. We don't have to do that. People like you should not be teaching. So we know you was not called. We know you was not called. Paul was an Israelite. Every time I ask somebody to prove to me something in the New Testament that's false, they can't show me. That's why in the New Testament, what do it say? The testament is not of any force, while the tester liveth. Once Christ died, the testament is in full force. What is I'm saying, family? Everything that was written about the Messiah in the Old Testament bear witness in the New. That's how Peter and them was able to believe. Why, K. Judah? Because when Christ was telling them, as it is written in the law, Peter and them would go to that law and say, when it said, he rode in upon the ass. Go tell ye the daughter of Zion, behold your king cometh, riding up on the ass, the coat, the foal of an ass. Did not he do that in the New Testament? Mean he bear witness to what was written in the Old, making it a testimony to testify of things written about the Messiah, which is called prophecy. That's why it's called testimony, to testify. What are we testifying of? Things written in the Old manifested in the New. So Christ fulfilled the part of dying on the tree. But he have not yet fulfilled all the other things written in the Old Testament, like shedding the blood, killing from one end of the earth to the other. Go read Genesis 49 that he washed his blood in grapes. That haven't happened yet, but where can I find it? In Revelations. He have not smite the king over the head of many countries. Where is this written at? In the Old, but also in Revelations 19, that he gonna kill from one end of the earth to the other. So you're in the wrong place, partner. So exit the building, because I have no time for foolishness. Immediately when I hear somebody tell me the New Testament is fake, I know me and you can't talk and go nowhere together. The Bible say, can two walk together unless they agree? Me and you not going to agree on nothing, because you didn't throw away a whole part of a book. So I wouldn't even waste my time talking to you. Immediately when you ask me a question, I'm going to go mute and I'm going to walk away. We're not going to get nowhere. Because if you throw away the New Testament, how am I going to testify things written in the Old? That let me know you lack knowledge, man. But you got that from somebody, though. Somebody told you the New Testament is fake. It's not something you dissected for yourself. I read this Bible for 10 years straight. And guess what I'm doing right now? I started over from Genesis. Now I'm in the book of Nehemiah. I'm doing it again. That means that I don't get caught up on the fact that I read it for 10 years. I want more understanding because I may have missed some things along the way. So now I'm going back and doing it all over again. Things I might have missed, and I'm putting lessons together based on the things I missed. That's me being a student. So I can't listen to you because you're not doing what I'm doing. Are you sitting down dissecting this Bible every day? Are you up wee hours of the morning while everybody's asleep? You up to keep yourself and keep your hand on the swivel? If you ain't doing that, man, you wasting your time talking to me, bro. It's like somebody trying to tell Michael Jordan how to play basketball, and this man then gave his soul to the game. His all, man, they say Michael Jordan was really, he wore his emotions on his sleeve for real. He hate to lose. And he was the greatest basketball player to ever live. So can you walk in the room and tell him how to play basketball? He gonna look at you stupid, man. Man got 6 championship rings. What can you tell somebody who didn't put that type of effort into a game and got 6 championship rings? Nothing. So that's the same way I feel. If you have not dissected this Bible, if you have not read this Bible, I mean really read it and got to understand, man, I'm not talking to you, bro. I'm not talking to you. It's a waste of time. So let me keep going. So I just proved that Paul kept the Sabbath. I proved that Paul kept a fast. Now, it never said what kind of fast, but I know the fast that we do have is called the Day of Atonement. But Paul also went back to Jerusalem to keep the feast. Y'all see what I'm saying? Paul went back to Jerusalem to keep the feast, y'all. But I thought he wasn't called. I thought he wasn't chosen. I thought he wasn't an Israelite. Why is Paul doing these things? The Bible just said in Acts 17:2, it say, and Paul, as his manner was, went unto them, and 3 days Sabbath, reasoned with them out of the scriptures. The oracles was given to Israel, so how Paul understand the scriptures? This knowledge, fam. Only Israel can teach the Bible, so why Paul teaching the Bible if he wasn't an Israelite? This is knowledge, y'all. What else did Paul do? Let's go see. Let's go to Acts 22. And I'm going to prove that Paul was not a Roman by blood. He was a Roman citizen. You have our people, y'all, who are Israel, telling people that Paul was a Roman. Let's see what the Bible say. I'd rather the Bible tell you. Paul was not no false brethren, y'all. Paul was not no false brethren, y'all. Paul is not a false teacher, y'all. Acts 22. And I'm going to read 26 to 29. Listen to this, y'all. Verse 26, and it reads, when the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, take heed that thou doest what thou doest, for this man is a Roman. Then the chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, yea. And the chief captain answered, with a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Paul said, but I was a freeborn. Then straightway they departed from him, which should have examined him. And the chief captain also was afraid, after he knew that he was a Roman, and because he had bound him. So Paul was a Roman citizen. It never said that, K. Judah. Really? Okay. That's all I got to do. Now, y'all heard he was a Roman, right? So let's go get the scripture then. That's all we got to do. See, we ain't got to do no arguing. I just go get the Bible that's going to prove who he was. Let's go, family, to Hebrews chapter 11. Or is it Romans? Because y'all remember, I'm doing this freestyle, so y'all got to bear with me. Romans, or is it Hebrews? I think it's Romans. Hold up. All right. This is Romans chapter 11. Romans chapter 11. And I'm going to read verse 1. Now, I'm going to read two scriptures, and we're going to prove what the Bible is saying that is true. So watch this. Romans chapter 11, verse 1, and it reads, I say then, have God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. I don't understand what you Israelites reading, man. I do not understand what a lot of y'all are reading. Paul was not a Roman by blood. That's how we know he was a citizen of Rome. Like you a citizen of America, but you're really not a citizen, but that's what they classify you as on paper. But you're an Israelite. That's Paul. He was a citizen of Rome. But he just told you an Israelite by blood. Now, jump over to verse 11. And I want to prove this. Verse 11. I say then, have they stumbled that they shall fall? God forbid. But rather through their fall, for salvation is coming to the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Where can I find that at? In the book of Deuteronomy. You remember? I'm going to provoke you with a foolish nation. Who was the foolish nation? The Gentiles, y'all. Not your brothers. Why would he provoke you to jealous with the 10 tribes or the 9 tribes? Why would he provoke you to jealousy with your own brother? That's impossible, man. He provoked you to jealousy with the natural Gentiles. Not according to a lot of Israelites talking about the Gentiles in the New Testament was Israel, the northern kingdom. Bruh, he just say he gonna provoke us with a foolish nation. So how can my brethren be the foolish nation when they come from the nation I come from? Come on, man. Common sense ain't so common. Wisdom and knowledge must apply. It must apply. So the foolish nation cannot be the northern kingdom because they already come from a nation. So they can't be a nation outside of their own nation who he provoked me with. He said a foolish nation. That's the Gentile. Verse 12. Now, if the fall of them, meaning the Israelites, be the riches of the world, because they got rich, and the diminishing of them, we was diminished, and the riches of the Gentiles, how much more of their fullness? When did my 10 tribe brethren get rich? When did my 10 tribe brothers get rich? Talk to me. They never got rich. So how can they be the foolish nation? Because the Bible just said the riches of the world. The 10 tribes ain't rich. So it ain't them he provoked me with. It's the natural Gentiles. Come on, Israel. If I'm telling you the Bible is fake, you don't supposed to listen to me. If I'm telling you the New Testament is wrong, you don't supposed to listen to me. If I'm telling you Paul was not called, you don't supposed to be listening to me, man. But a lot of y'all still stay in these chat box and listen to false doctrine. No, you listening to lies, but you stay there. Immediately when I hear somebody teaching false, I'm gone. Never to listen to you again. Because if you don't understand something, you should not open your mouth. If you don't understand something, you should not open your mouth. If I don't know something, I'm going to humbly say, I don't know that. Let me do some research. Let me get back to you. I'm not making up nothing on Israel. If I don't know, I don't know. But a lot of you Negroes don't want to be proven wrong. So what you do is allow your pride to get in the way, just so you can sound right and deep and lie to people and deceive them. And man, that's up on your head, man. That's right. A people that is not a people. Can't be talking about the northern kingdom is not a people. But all you're going to do is tell me that the Lord gave them a bill of divorce. Now, don't get me wrong. Who Paul wrote them letters to was the children of Israel. Okay, Judah, you sound confusion. Okay, you sound confusion, brother. Let's go back. I told y'all it's good to prove everything. This is why when I put my lessons together, I talk to myself. Meaning that I talk the lesson out. So I ask questions that somebody who's trying to manipulate my words will ask me. So I talk to myself as if I'm them. So I manipulate my own words to myself to make it look like I sound foolish. That's why I talk to myself and y'all hear me going, "Okay, Judah, that don't sound right. Man, you teaching false." I do that, family. So then I go get the other precepts to back up what I'm saying. That's how I keep my mind sharp, because I'm going to deal with false teachers, family. I done dealt with them in life. I done sat down with preachers who recorded my whole conversation. So I talk to myself to keep myself sharp, man. Upstairs. So I just talked to myself just now and said, that don't make no sense. So let's go back to Acts chapter 9. And I'm going to get straight to the point. And I'm going to read verse 15. Listen closely, family. Let's see if the Bible making sense. Now, he said a people that is not a people, a foolish nation, right? Now, they keep telling y'all that the foolish nation is the northern kingdom because God gave them a bill of divorce. That does not make them the foolish nation that he provoked us with, though. That means that he stopped dealing with them, gave them a bill of divorce. Man, I'm not dealing with y'all no more. But we know that in the last days, he's going to also bring the northern kingdom back. So this is Acts chapter 9 and verse 15. Listen to the punctuation. But the Lord said unto him, go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles, comma, there's a comma, and kings, comma, and the children of Israel. So how can they be the Gentiles and the children of Israel? Knowledge, family. Why you think they got them commas right there? Because they are making a distinction and a difference and separate the Gentiles, comma, and kings, comma, and the children of Israel. So Paul went to his brethren also, and the children of Israel, and the natural Gentile. What did Paul tell the Jews? Because you find yourself unworthy of eternal life, we turn to the Gentiles. The Gentiles was not no northern kingdom Gentile, because you have been woefully miserable. What you talking, K. Judah? Let's go back to Romans chapter 11. And we're going to read it one more time for the people in the back and the people to the left and the people to the right. Thank you, my sister. My brother. Thank you, my brother. A people that is not a people will I provoke you to jealousy. It's the heathens. Thank you. It's just that simple. Hey, my brother, they making it very difficult, man. Like you just say, it's the heathen, man. How we know that? I'm going to keep reading down this time because now I went back to Acts chapter 9. We got better understanding that he said the Gentiles, and kings, and the children of Israel. He didn't provoke me to jealousy with my own northern kingdom, brother. Why would he do such a thing? That's my brother. You already know they're going to be a part of the fold. He said he's going to gather all Israel. So he didn't provoke me to jealousy with my own brother. Come on, y'all. This is Romans chapter 11 and verse 11 again. I say then have they stumbled that they shall fall. God forbid. But rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles. But I thought all of Israel going to already receive salvation. So why would he say he going to give salvation to the Gentiles? He not talking about my brother. He already going to gather all of Israel. He says salvation is coming to the Gentiles. But y'all have to understand what salvation did they receive when he was talking about at this time. Let's see. I'm going to let the Bible tell you, not me. God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles for to provoke them to jealousy. Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world, they got above you, dog. They got above you. They received the riches of the world. Don't y'all know that heaven and hell is also a condition? The Gentiles living in salvation. They living in prosperity. They living in heaven. You came down to hell. Hell is also a state of condition. It's also a real place. And heaven is also a real place and also a state of condition. Verse 12. Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world and the diminishing of them, the riches of the Gentiles. When did the northern kingdom receive riches? When did the northern kingdom receive riches? And the riches of the Gentile, how much more their fullness? For I speak to you Gentiles, and so much as I am an apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify my office. If by any means I may provoke to immolation them which are my flesh, and might save some of them. For if the casting away be of the reconciling of the world, for if the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world, what should the receiving of them be but life from the dead? There you go, y'all. Verse 16. For if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. And if the root be holy, which is Christ, so are the branches. And if some of the branches be broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree, were grafted in. How can my own brother be grafted in back into his own tree? We all have to be grafted back in unto the Lord, not just the northern kingdom. We all have to be grafted in back to the Lord, not just the northern kingdom. We all had to be adopted back to the Lord because we failed as a people. So once Yahshua died and shed his blood, we had to be adopted back into the good graces of our Father. This is what the Lord is giving you, which is called knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's why the Bible say line must be upon line, man, and precept upon precept. Here a little and there a little. I can't give you no one scripture and get to talking. I got to let the Bible do the talking, family. Because my too much talking may make it seem real. And I don't like doing too much talking. It's just a waste of breath. I'm being honest. I can't even be around a man that just too much talking, but he ain't saying nothing. It make my head hurt, dog. Say something while you're talking, bruh. Verse 17, and if some of the branches be broken off, and thou been a wild olive tree, were grafted in among them, and with them partakers of the root and fatness of the olive tree. Boast not against the natural branch. Boast not against the natural branch. Boast not against the natural branch. And that's all you Gentiles do is boast against us. Oh man, the Lord said there's neither Jew nor Gentile. There's neither Jew nor Greek. And they don't even understand that. I'm going to do a lesson on that one day to show you. Before the Roman Empire, who was ruling? The Greeks. Who did the Maccabees fight against? The Greeks. What did the Greeks tell the Israelites? They could not call themselves by their Israelite names, or they would be put to death. So they gave them Greek names. So when the Bible said there's neither Jew nor Greek, you have to understand, you have to make a separation. Because Timothy, daddy, was a Greek. But how was Timothy able to teach with Paul? That means that his father was not a Greek by blood, because Paul circumcised his father, or circumcised Timothy. You remember, he circumcised him, and then he started to teach with Paul. But if his father was a Greek by blood, he could not teach the Lord's word, because you must be a full-blooded Israelite to teach this Bible, because you can't show me in the Bible where the Lord ever chose somebody of another nationality to give a prophecy, to have a vision, and to interpret the vision. Whoever had a vision of another nationality, they had to go give an Israelite to interpret the dream, to interpret the vision. Everything wrote down in this Bible is by Israelite. All the prophecies, Israelites. All the prophets, Israelites. All the disciples, Israelites. All the apostles, Israelites. You better get that knowledge now. Everybody in this Bible is Israelite. So when the Bible said there's neither Jew nor Greek, you better get understanding of who them Greeks are. Because in one part he say Gentile, another part he say Greek. And then he gonna separate and put together the beef that was between us. When did this happen, y'all? I'm telling y'all, man, see, Paul's letters are hard to be understood. You have to dissect it carefully. You cannot cherry pick what you want. You must dissect it. And then you must separate the Gentiles from the children of Israel. The Gentiles from the children of Israel. Because the letters that Paul was writing was to the children of Israel, to bring them back into the fold. That's why Christ said, go rather to the lost sheep. Peter and them was not lost. Let me say it one more time. Peter, the Jews. Paul knew his nationality. Paul kept the feast days. Paul kept the Sabbath day. Peter and them kept Pentecost. If they was lost, how did they still know how to keep their customs? That means that the northern kingdom was the lost sheep. So Paul had to go to his brethren and write letters to them to bring them back into the fold. And he went to the natural Gentile to provoke you to jealousy. That's why they wanted to stone Paul and kill Paul. Because when they saw Paul teaching them natural Gentiles, why I'ma stone you for teaching my brother? Why I'ma stone you for bringing my brother back into the fold? Y'all gotta wake up, man. I thank the Lord for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and not just for wisdom, but also understanding of what I'm reading. Wisdom is cool, but get you some understanding. A man that have wisdom got a lot of words, but when you say, do you understand what you just said? That nigga don't. Whole bunch of talking with no understanding. So that's why when you read Acts chapter 9, the Lord made a distinction and he put punctuation right there as a comma, and another comma. Because he was telling you, he going to the natural Gentiles, he going to the kings and the children of Israel. So when I read the Bible and they say there's neither Jew nor Greek, I got to get understanding of the Greeks. I must get understanding of who these Greeks were, because they was just coming out of the Greek Empire before the Romans. So who are some of these Greeks? They was Israelites. That's why you got Hellenistic Jews being converted back into the fold. That's why when they kept Pentecost, what did it say? These people came out of every nation under heaven. Proselytes mean to be converted back. Jews are wrong. Strangers are wrong. They knew to come keep Pentecost, but the northern kingdom was the lost sheep. This is knowledge. So Paul was not a false teacher, man. He was not a false teacher. I just proved that Paul kept the Sabbath. He went 3 days Sabbath teaching the word. I proved that Paul kept the fast. And I think that fast was the Day of Atonement. That's why he went to Jerusalem, family. And he also went to Jerusalem to keep other feasts. Paul was persecuted. Let's get that. This Bible is a cold piece of work, man. That's why I say, man, I'm not arguing with you, Israel. All you people coming over here talking about the New Testament is fake. I'm not wasting my breath on you, dog. That's a waste of my time, bro. I pity you. You know why? Because I know you ain't sat down and just really dissected this Bible and gave the Lord time out of your life and sacrifice to really get understanding. So when you out and about in life and people run up on you with that Jesus, 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 man, you got the word in your mind, man. You keep your hand on a swivel. You ready. But they don't know you ready. But it's not to beat them down. I'm going to talk to you in love. But I'm going to be serious when I'm bringing forth the word, because you can't play with Israel. You must be serious with this people for them to understand, because the Bible say convince the gang cell. How do I do that? With the word. Let's go to Philippians chapter 3. And I'm going to get this out of the mouth for 2 or 3. We let it be established. Philippians chapter 3. And I'm going to read verse 5 through 6. Philippians chapter 3 and verse 5 through 6. And it reads, circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee, concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is by the law, blameless. But what thing were gain to me? Those I counted lost for Christ. There you go. Paul say he was from the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of the Hebrews. He was persecuting the church. He's a Pharisee, but y'all sitting up here talking about Paul was a Roman. What is going on, family? Come on now. Paul done told you he was a Roman citizen, and you gonna still call this man a Roman and say the Lord never chose him? When this man is from the tribe of Benjamin, this man know his nationality. This man know his father's house. What are you talking about? Come on now. We got to put away the childish things, man. Come on now. We got to deal with the word for real, man. Sitting up here saying something like that. Now, let's go to Acts chapter 19 and see if Satan can fight against Satan. Thank you, Yahshua and Most High Yah, for putting this in the Bible. Because this right here finna put it to bed right now. Acts. What I'm about to ask, about to put it to bed. What I'm about to ask right now, about to put it to bed. Let's see if this make any sense. This is Acts chapter 19 and verse 15. Acts chapter 19 and verse 15. And it reads, and the evil spirit answered and said, Yahshua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. So how can Satan fight against Satan? How can Satan fight against Satan? If Paul was evil, Paul crept in unawares, Paul was not an Israelite, why did the evil spirit say, I know Paul, I know the Lord, man, but I don't know you, bro. Who is you? And he jumped on him. Why he ain't jump on Paul? Paul was teaching contrary to the Lord. Paul was fighting against the church. So why the evil spirit didn't jump on Paul? Why is Satan gonna fight against himself? That means Paul didn't have no evil spirit on him. The Lord and the angel of the Lord encamped round about Paul. But I thought he was false though. We put that to bed real quick because Satan can't fight against himself. Let's get some more. What else I want? Let's go to Acts chapter 9 and verse 29. And I'm going to be done after this. Because I didn't already prove that Paul kept the feast. Paul kept the Sabbath. Paul was persecuted. Paul was a Hebrew of the Hebrews. Paul was from the tribe of Benjamin. The evil spirit recognized Paul. Even the angel of the Lord encamped about Paul. Come on, y'all. Paul wasn't no false teacher, man. These people tripping. Acts chapter 9 and verse 29. Acts chapter 9 and verse 29. No, I'm going to go to verse 28. Just go up one verse, then I'm going to come down. Verse 28. And he was with them coming and going out at Jerusalem. And he spake boldly in the name of the Lord Yahshua and disputed against the Grecians. But they went about to slay him, which when the brethren knew, they brought him down to Caesarea and sent him forth to Tarsus. So they tried to kill Paul. So why are you going to kill somebody that's fighting against the Lord? Why is Satan going to fight against himself? Come on, y'all. Let's get one more, and I'm out of here after this. Let's go to 2 Peter chapter 3, and this will be last. 2 Peter chapter 3, and this will be last. Yeah, I thank y'all for participating, family, but I had to ask that question. Why do so many of our people call Paul false? And then when you listen to them try to break it down, y'all, they be all over the place, family. I'm not lying to you. They be all over the place. They just be making up stuff, man. Just lying on the word and then claim to love the Lord. How you gonna lie on your power's word? Take away from your power's word. Add to your power's word. And then turn around and say you pray to your power. Boy, you are just all over the place like the waves in the ocean. You are tossed to and fro. And the Lord do not recognize somebody that's like that. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. The Lord can't use you, dog. Not only is you going to deceive people, you're going to have them crazy as hell. Just like you, just crazy. Out of your mind. You're going to make them out of their mind. 2 Peter's. And this will be last, family. Genesis to Revelations, everything is true. Now, don't get me wrong. Y'all know y'all brother K. Judah and they silly to believe that the Bible was written in English. I know it was Hebrew. I know that our forefathers spoke different languages. I know it was translated from the Latin, the Greek, and the Hebrew. I'm not silly, y'all. I know this Bible one. I know our language ain't no English. But the Lord knew we was going to captivity, family, so he had to have it translated in the language that we can understand. So wherever our people scattered at, the Bible is translated in that language because we scattered all over the world. So the Lord is a man with infinite wisdom. He already knew that we was going to lose our tongue. So in losing that tongue, in order to bring us back into the fold, don't we have to understand what we read in the language that we speak? 2 Peter's chapter 3, family. And this will be last. And I'm going to go to Acts chapter 18 and 21 too to show you too that Paul kept that feast. I have to prove that, family. So this is 2 Peter chapter 3 and 16 through 18. 16 through 18 that I'm going to read. One more scripture and then we go. It said, as also in all his epistles, speaking in them of things in which some things are hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest, meaning you twist it, as they do also the other scriptures, unto their own destruction. Ye therefore, beloved, seeing ye know these things before, beware, lest ye also be led away with the error of the wicked, fall from your own steadfastness. So Peter said that Paul's writings are hard to be understood, that some of you twist his words around to your own destruction. So for instance, when you read Hebrews chapter 10, it says that the law of animal sacrifice was a shadow of things to come. Then when you go to Romans chapter 6, Paul say you are not under the law, but under grace. But can you sin? God forbid. What is sin? Transgression of the law. Paul also say that the wages of sin is death. So hold up, K. Judah. Paul just confused me. I'm not under the law, but the wages of sin is death. So that means that I have to get understanding. What is the law and what is Paul talking about when he said I'm not under the law? Paul was telling you that the law was a shadow of good things to come. Meaning the law of animal sacrifice was a shadow of good things to come. So when Paul say you are not under the law, you are not under the sacrificial law. But can you still sin? God forbid. Meaning he's letting you know that the royal law is still in full effect. But the law of animal sacrifice, you don't got to keep that no more. That's why he told the Galatians, oh foolish Galatians, who will be with you? Receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law? What was the works of the law? Sacrificing animals. So Paul writings are hard to be understood because the way he speak. But if you want that knowledge, sit your butt down, give y'all some time, dissect this Bible, ask for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He will open up your mind if you sincere, and you're going to be able to feed the sheep. So Paul was never telling you don't have to keep the commandments. He said you don't have to keep the law of animal sacrifice. Why you think the Bible say God hath prepared me a body? Because the law of animal sacrifice could not take away sins. The shedding of animal blood could not take away sins. So he shed his own blood for the remission of sins. Let's go to one more scripture. Acts chapter 18 and verse 21. Acts chapter 18 and verse 21, man. And this will be last, family. That's right, man. Paul wasn't false at all. Paul was not false. They have a whole problem understanding if they don't read the Old. Thank you, brother. Thank you. That's what we sitting up here saying. If you don't understand the Old Testament, you're not going to understand Paul. Paul quoted a lot of things from the Old Testament, family. The testimony. To the law and to the testimony. Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20. To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, there's no light in them. I didn't say that. The Lord said it. So that means from the law and to the testimony. Do you even know what testimony mean, man? Or testament? It means to testify. It means to testify. So Paul was a Pharisee, right? But what was Paul lacking, y'all? What was Paul lacking? He knew the law. He was a Pharisee of all Pharisees. What was he lacking? He didn't know Yahshua. He didn't know Yahshua, family. That's what Paul was lacking. That's why Paul told the Galatians, oh, foolish Galatians, who have bewitched you? Now, hold up, though. Here go another nugget. Here go another nugget, man. You remember, Paul writings are hard to be understood, right? When you read Galatians, and Paul say, oh, foolish Galatians, who have bewitched you? Don't you know the answer is in the chapter before Galatians, chapter 3? That the answer to what he called them foolish is in the chapter above. This is why I say you got to dissect it. You can catch all these nuggets. The Bible is a jewel, a hidden treasure. And once you find it, you will sell everything to get that understanding and to get the kingdom and to receive salvation. That's what I did, family. I prayed the prayer of Solomon to the Lord. I told the Lord, I want what you gave Solomon, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I would not deceive your people. I would not teach your word falsely. I would not lie. I would not add. I would not take away. The Lord knew the sincerity of my heart, and he gave me understanding. That's why I can navigate this Bible, y'all. I'm not the only one who can do it, but I can only speak for me. I can navigate this Bible, and I can put lessons together quickly and swiftly. I can line this Bible up, y'all, because the Lord have opened up my eyes to do so. But I'm not the only one. There's many brothers and sisters who can line this Bible up. You know why? Because they take time out of their life and sacrifice themselves to feed the sheep, family, and to keep their head on the swivel. So here go another nugget. Here go another nugget. See, the Spirit is having me to read it for y'all. So I got to read Acts 18 and 21, and then I have to go to Galatians because the Spirit say, don't just say it, go read it. So let's go to Acts 18 and 21 first, and then I'm going to come back and go to Galatians. When he say, oh, foolish Galatians, who I be with you? And I'm going to go to the chapter up above and get the answer for you. Okay, let's go to Acts 18. Oh, I apologize. Anayana Coleman, I apologize. My sister. I said sister at first, and I thought it was, I apologize. That's my sister. That's my sister. She said, I'm a whole sister. That's right. Your brother K. Judah apologized, my sister. All right, let's go to Acts chapter 18. Hey, you swinging that sword, though. Big salute to you. You swinging that sword, though. Talking about our sisters don't got no wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. When the Bible say the sons and daughters gonna prophesy, but y'all want to cast the sisters away and make them shut their mouth and muzzle them when the Lord then gave them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to also feed people. Boy, the Spirit is moving, y'all. I can't stop talking. Y'all remember when Mary, her sister was cooking in the kitchen, right? Y'all remember that? She was cooking. She got mad and told Christ, man, hold up, man. I'm in here preparing the food, but my sister, like, why she ain't in here with me? What did Christ tell her? Christ say, what your sister doing is should not be taken from her. What your sister out there doing should not be taken from. The sister was out there teaching Yahshua. But I thought y'all say the woman just supposed to shut up and teach the younger women. So why she wasn't out there teaching the younger women? She was on a path of teaching Yahshua and teaching the gospel. Yahshua never told her, hold up, woman, you out of pocket. You don't, that's a man's job. Yahshua told her sister, what your sister doing should not be taken from her. So Christ didn't stop her from out there teaching the gospel. And if you're going to lie and say she wasn't teaching the gospel, you are a liar, because that's what Christ was teaching. And all the people that follow Christ and those disciples, and Mary also followed Christ, she was out there teaching the gospel and teaching Yahshua. Hey, I found the Lord, y'all. He over here. I found the Lord, the one that was forth to come. He over here. What are you talking about? I told y'all, man, hey, when you come over here, and I say this humbly, I want to be the best at everything I do. I heard Professor Lee come and say that, and it gave me confidence, and it made me strong in the inside, because if my professor can say that, then I don't got to be scared to say that. He said he want to be the best at everything he do, even when it comes to swinging a sword. So I said, hold up. Man, he said that, so, you don't want to say stuff like that, because people look at it like you trying to be arrogant or something. But when I heard him say it, I said, man, ain't nothing wrong with want to be the best. Ain't nothing wrong with want to be the best. I want to be the best sword swinger I can be. I want to get that understanding that no man can deceive K. Judah. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Me taking my time out to be the best that I can be in the Lord. Let's go to Acts 18 and 21, one verse. And it reads, but bade them farewell, saying, I must by all means keep this feast. I must by all means keep this feast. I must by all means keep this feast. This is Paul, y'all. Paul knew to go keep the feast, but I thought he was a false brethren. I must by all means keep this feast that cometh in Jerusalem, but I will return again unto you if God will. And he sailed from Ephesus. So Paul went and kept the feast at Jerusalem, but y'all told me that he was a false brethren. So why he went to Jerusalem to keep the feast? I thought he wasn't an Israelite. You better tell me. And Yana, you better tell me. That's right. That's right. She sat at the feet of the Messiah, and he never told her, man, get away from me, man. What you doing? You supposed to be at home. You supposed to be preparing food. She sat at the feet of the Messiah, y'all, learning and getting knowledge, and also out there spreading the word. Christ did not take that from that woman. She was out there spreading the word, family. Y'all better go read about it. Who was the first one to meet him at the tomb? Mary. A woman. Not a man. Let's go to Galatians, and then I'm getting up out of y'all hair. Let's go to Galatians, and I'm getting up out of y'all hair. I got to prove this. Let's go to Galatians. These letters was written to our brethren. – Let me say it again. The letters of Paul was written to the northern kingdom. And I stand on that, and I can prove that. I can prove that. Okay, here it go. Galatians chapter 3, but this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to verse 19 of Galatians chapter 2, right? And then I'm going to read straight down through 3. I'm not going to say chapter 3. I'm just going to continue to read. Because we know, and I learned this from my brother Yehuda, because I give credit where it's due. Brother Yehuda told me that back in the day, the Bible did not have chapters and verses. It was just a straight read through. And he told me by making it chapter and verses, certain scriptures that should be in the chapters above, they made them into separate chapters. He's not lying, because I found it in the Bible. When he was transfigured, those scriptures in that chapter, before the chapter when he told them, you should not die and see the Son of Man come into his kingdom. The verses in the next chapter should be in the chapter above. But they separated the verses and made it a separate chapter. See, this is knowledge, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. I want all understanding, even though the Lord might not give me all understanding, but I'm seeking all understanding. Because it's in the Bible. It's in here. So whatever is written down, I can get understanding of it. At a set time, they want me to obtain it. This is Galatians chapter 2, verse 19 straight through chapter 3. Listen. For I, through the law, am dead to the law. Paul, you confusing me, dog. What you mean you dead to the law? You're going to have people thinking the commandments is dead, Paul. But I know that's not what you're saying, my brother. That's why it's good to keep reading down. For I, through the law, am dead to the law, that I might live unto God. And am crucified with Yahshua. Nevertheless, I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. I do not frustrate the grace of God. For if righteousness come by the law, then Christ is dead in vain. What law is he talking about? Let's read straight through. O foolish Galatians, who have bewitched you, that you should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Yahshua have been evidently set forth crucified among you. This only will I learn of you. Receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law? What is the works of the law? Sacrificing animals. Or by the hearing of faith? Oh, you so foolish. Having begun in the Spirit, are you now made perfect by the flesh? What flesh is he talking about? The flesh of animals. The flesh of animals. Verse 4. Have ye suffered so many things in vain, if it be yet in vain? Hear therefore that minister to you the Spirit, and worketh miracles among you. Do it by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith? So Paul is asking a question. Oh, you foolish Galatians, you still trying to sacrifice animals. The Lord did already shed his blood. You don't got to do that no more. Are you trying to receive righteousness by the flesh, or by the works of the law, and not by the hearing of faith? The works of the law are sacrificing animals, family. That's why the Bible tells you in Hebrews chapter 10, the blood of bulls and goats can never take away sins, because it was by the works of the law. The Bible say in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 1, he says that the law is a shadow of good things to come. What law? The law of animal sacrifice. That's why the Bible tells you in Hebrews chapter 10, and you read all the way down, he say he taken away the first, that he may establish the second. What was the first? The law of animal sacrifice. What was the second? Yahshua's blood. That's the testament that we under. I'm out of your hair, family. Family, Paul was not false. Paul was the truth. Paul was a Hebrew of Hebrews. Paul was a man that was steadfast on his mission. Paul didn't have time for women. Paul didn't have time for none of that. Paul was about Yahshua's business because he persecuted the church and he tried to recompense those things and make right. He tried to recompense unto the Lord the things that was right in the Lord's eyesight and not Paul's eyesight. So the Lord also recompensed back to Paul. That's why he said he should suffer many things in my name's sake. Why? Because he persecuted the church. So when more is forgiven, people give more. And when less is forgiven, you give less. So Paul gave more because he persecuted more. And those who are forgiven less, you're going to only do a little. And that's why some people go hard in the truth and some people don't go hard in the truth. That's why some people lazy with the word and some people steadfast with the word. That's why some is chosen by God and some are only called by God. You better know the difference. You better know the difference. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, y'all, hold up. Somebody asked me a question. Brother William. All right, let's go to Revelations. This what we supposed to do, Brother William. People ask questions. We're supposed to try to get an answer to the best of our ability. We don't supposed to get mad at our people when I hear other Israelites telling people that's a stupid question. That's stupid. Ain't no question stupid, man. Just because they don't agree with you don't mean it make the question stupid. Either answer the question or just say you don't know. You is sitting on the panel. You have a microphone. So that means you are obligated to answer God's people's questions. If not, you shouldn't be teaching. Revelations. Give me a minute, Brother William, because I freestyled this whole thing. I don't got nothing written down, so I'm going off the dome. Okay, so here we go. Now, family, this is Revelations 20. And let's get the understanding first. So we go to Revelations 19. I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm going to just get a synopsis. Revelations 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him is called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he do judge and make war. His eyes was as a flame of fire, and on his head was many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. That's why I don't get caught up on names. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of God. And the armies which were in heaven followed him, upon white horses clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. Go to Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12, it'll tell you that the word is a double-edged sword. Not an actual sword came out of his mouth, but the word is a sword, a double-edged sword. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he should rule them with a rod of iron. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. I can find that in Genesis 49, that he washed his garments in the blood of grapes. It just told me that in Revelation. I told you line must be up on line. All the way in Genesis, it tell you that he's gonna wash his garment in the blood of grapes. The Bible tell you in what is it? Isaiah 63. Yep, Isaiah 63. Who is this that coming from Edom with dyed garments? Meaning his garment was full of blood, y'all. So the Bible is a true book. The Old Testament to the New Testament. The Old Testament gonna tell you that he washed his garments in the blood of grapes. But the New Testament gonna tell you how he gonna do it. That's why he say line must be up on line. One line gonna tell me that he gonna wash his garments in grapes, but another line gonna tell me how he gonna do it. Like in Revelation 19, it's telling me how he gonna do it, how he gonna come on a white horse, and out of his mouth go the sharp sword, that he should smite the nations with it. And what did you do again? And he treaded the winepress and fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. And he had on his vest and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun. And he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of the heavens, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God. So, Yahshua is going to come and take down this world immediately after the tribulation of those days. You can find that in Matthew chapter 24, verse 29. You read verse 29, it tell you immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun should be darkened, the moon should not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man. So Where's the answer after the tribulation? Revelation 19. He come on a white horse. He come and take down the world. After he take down the world, what he gonna do next? Verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, that wrought miracles before him, which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both was cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstones. So the first thing we see is after he take down the world, he grabbed the beast and the false prophet, which is the temporal leader and the false religious leader. He cast them into the lake of fire. So now we go to Revelation 20. Because remember, the Lord got to take down the world and bound Satan before he can have 1,000 years of peace, right? He got to bound Satan for 1,000 years before he can have that 1,000 years of peace. So now we go to Revelation 20. And what do it say? Here you go. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Because remember, Satan cannot be bound until after the Lord take down the world. Once the Lord take down the world, he cast the two men into what? The lake of fire. And then he bound Satan and cast Satan with them. But hold up though. Not in the lake of fire yet. Let me say that again, because I want to make sure I say everything right. People have been woefully misinformed. When Satan is bound, y'all, it's not the lake of fire yet. Those two men is in the lake of fire, but Satan was just bound. But the Lord did not cast him in the lake of fire yet. Okay, Judah, you talking crazy. I am? Really? Let's read. Verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should not deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. I thought you told me he was in the lake of fire. He just bound them, family. Now let's go and see what's going to happen after the 1,000 years. Watch this. Listen. Verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loose. So how you going to be loose if you're in the lake of fire? How you going to be loose out the lake of fire to go deceive somebody? He's not in the lake of fire yet, family. He was bound for 1,000 years and a chain was set about him, but not the lake of fire yet. But those two men, they're already in the lake of fire. See, the Bible is a cold piece of work, boy. The Bible is a cold piece of work, boy. Woo-hoo-hoo. I get excited. The Bible is a cold piece of work, boy. I'm telling you. And I'm glad he gave me understanding of it, man. I'm serious. Verse 8. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints. Now, Brother William, here go another nugget for you. In Matthew 24, verse 29 to 31, immediately after the tribulation of those days, right, the sun, the moon, and the stars going to not get that light. But in verse 31, he sent his angels to gather the children of Israel, right? He gathered the children of Israel because he got to remove us out of this destruction that he about to bring on the world. So he removed Israel out the way, right? So at some point, Israel is back in their land. Satan is loose because remember, 1,000 years of peace. So that means Israel received 1,000 years of peace with the Messiah. But something happened, brother. When Satan was loose, he did something. Let's read it again, verse 8. And shall go out to deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle. The number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints. Who are the saints? The children of Israel. About. And the beloved city. And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire. Now he's in the lake of fire, but not before. Now he's in the lake of fire. First, he was just bound for 1,000 years. Once the 1,000 years was expired, the Lord loosed him to go get Gog and Magog, which we know is Russia. They saw us dwelling in our city, and they tried to come up against us in our city. And the Most High Yah rained fire down and devoured them. Then he cast Satan in the lake of fire. How we know that? Verse 10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstones, where the beast and the false prophet are, and should be tormented day and night forever and ever. So there you go. So, Brother William, I hope that helped you, brother, that the Lord will come immediately after tribulation of those days, Matthew 24, verse 29. And then in Revelations 19, he will be revealed on that white horse with all his angels. He going to come and take down his world. Once he take down the world, he cast the beast and the false prophet into the lake of fire. Revelations 20 let us know that he bound Satan, because now, once he take down the world, we can have peace. Because Satan is bound, he can't deceive nobody no more. So he go 1,000 years of peace. We dwelling on the earth in peace. But after the 1,000 years, Satan was loose. So Satan went to deceive the nations, which is Gog and Magog, which we know is Russia. So they saw us dwelling in unwalled villages in our city. They tried to come up against the city. The Lord rained down fire and devoured them. Then he cast Satan into the lake of fire. And then after that, he come the white throne judgment. So there you go, right there. That's book, man. The Bible is a cold piece of work, fam. And I noticed something too. Those who teach absolute correct, you will never get the support that you think you deserve, ever. Remember this. When you are teaching lies and you tickle people's ears, your channel will be massive. Look at TD Jason them. 1.3 million followers. Followers. I don't want followers. We shall all be leaders of our own life. Lead your life and save yourself. Because I can't save you and you can't save me. So people want to follow other men. I follow no man but two. Yahshua and the Most High. Now, another man can teach me and give me some edification, but I would not follow you. I will only take the edification and add it to what I'm already doing, and I will salute you and thank you for the edification. Another thing you have to stop doing, Israel, is stop standing on another man's lot. I see what y'all be doing, and it's not a bad thing, but if somebody is dedicated to the word and they put their time and effort into putting these lessons together, you should not go to that man's channel and take everything that he just said verbatim and then go say it on your platform. No, brother, don't do that. Also be dedicated, because you might find something that I did not find. You might get understanding that I did not get understanding. So don't be lazy in trying to repeat what I said. No, read for yourself, man, and ask the Lord to edify you, because you may be able to edify me on something I missed. But if you're going to say what I said verbatim, how you going to edify me? You just said what I said verbatim. My every word. Don't do that, man. I don't think that's right, man. I'm being honest. No, we should not be doing that, y'all. You cannot stand in another man's lot, man, and take everything that man is doing in his hard work and dedication, and then you're going to go take what he put together, and you're going to take it over there, and you're going to say everything I said. And then you're not going to even say you took the lesson from the man. Don't do that, dog. You know you learned that from somebody else. It's not that you're giving him credit, but the Lord gave that man the understanding. Why are you going to say that you read this yourself and you put this together? Y'all got to stop, man. That's not cool. I always give credit what credit due. I learned from Pastor Kelly that Israel was already in the book of life. And I gave him the credit for it. I didn't learn that on my own. I heard him say it. So when I said it, I learned this from Pastor Kelly. Because I'm not standing on that man's lot with the understanding he was given, that we was already in the book of life, family. But you trying to keep your name in the book of life. You don't want it to be taken out of the book of life. That's two different things. So I leave you with that, family. I don't want to be too long, because I don't like talking too much. But I just wanted to come in here and just edify the nation, edify our people, to let you know that Paul was not a false teacher. Paul was an apostle. Paul was a Hebrew of the Hebrews. Paul was from the tribe of Benjamin. Paul kept the Sabbath day. Paul kept the feast days. Paul was persecuted. And even the evil spirit said, Paul I know. Yahshua I know. Bruh, but who are you? And I say big salute, family. Big salute.
free. Look at me, this is me that I claim to be. And can't nobody take that away from me. Because I'm up now, I was lost, now I'm found. Tell me what now? New beginnings calls for shutdowns, yeah. But I don't wanna let you down, so keep an open mind if you wanna. I'm looking for a peace of mind, 'cause I don't wanna get left behind. Just looking for the right direction. Tell me if it's where I'm headed for my protection, 'cause I will do whatever it takes to make sure I cleanse my space. Don't want nobody in my way. I know it sounds cold, but think about them peaceful days, just chilling in the days, just like Christ when he went to fast for them 40 days. Ooh, 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 let it go loud. Ooh, ooh. It's only up from here. I know it seems far away, but it's only up from here. Oh yeah, look at how far you came. I'm tired of lying to myself. I know who I am. I'm done with fighting. Just admit it. I know I am. But I don't wanna let you down, so keep an open mind if you wanna come around. I'm looking for a peace of mind, 'cause I don't wanna get left behind. Just looking for the right direction. Tell me if it's where I'm headed for my protection, 'cause I will do whatever it takes to make sure I cleanse my space. Don't want nobody in my way. I know it sounds cold, but think about them peaceful days, just chilling in the days, just like Christ when he went to fast for them 40 days.
In the words of my beloved sister August Dreams, thank y'all for coming to the Lions Den, family. Let's get it. And this nigga, I apologize. And your brother K. Judah, Jesus help me, wanna say shalom.